tonight on the Chillstream. What happened to me? Tonight, there we go, little hiccup. Tonight on the Chillstream, we take a trip in the Wayback Machine, and I show you how far we've come in such a short amount of time. I still have more memes. I'm not done with the memes. We got more. And I give you a glimpse of what the future is going to look like. All of that and more in 2 minutes when we come back tonight on the Chillstream. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Monday Night Chillstream, starring yours truly, STFU James, America's boldest adversarial thinker. Make sure to smash up the like button. Let's throw that banner up because people don't seem to want to do that lately. I noticed that on my last stream, it got 44 views, which is fairly high, above average views last time. And that I think is largely due to the fact that I am in a better mood, a more positive mood, because I am looking forward to a bright future and not being a miserable bastard, like I said. But when you show up, if you're here now live, whoever's in I can see a couple of viewers already, here to smash up the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button. So we got so much stuff to get through this. I keep thinking, well, man, I'm going to run out of like material. I'm going to run out of, I won't be able to have anything to talk about. But luckily, there's so much happening right now. There's so much going on. That's all going our way. When I say our way, I'm talking about the way of Bitcoin. Although I noticed one thing on the last stream when I showed the Maverick Tom Cruise meme. When I was watching the replay, it cut out, I guess, because there was a little bit of copyrighted music on there, and then YouTube finally picked that up, and the stream cut out for a few seconds or whatever. But you know, I'm going to try to be more thoughtful and avoid that in the future. I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to do a couple of different things. But last week, let's try and clean up. Let's try and clean up some stuff. There's a couple of things we can do. Let's try and clean up some stuff here. I was talking about RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's his role in this election cycle is to be the Democratic Donald Trump. He's going to be the Democratic populist, and he's going to, you know, tell you the uncomfortable truth. He's oh so critical of the federal government or whatever. And I said that I had video of him doing that, and you know what a hypocritical bastard he is, because you know when Hillary was invading Libya, breaking Libya apart. You know, he was saying she was such a great president because how she handled the Benghazi thing. But this is R.F. Kennedy in his current role as populist. So got a little video here, brief 59-second video, and of RFK Jr. And you know what? If you have the right mindset, this shit is funny as fuck.
We printed $300 billion new dollars to bail out the Silicon Valley Bank. And we topped off the Ukraine war commitment to $113 billion. So we got lots of money for the military-industrial complex, lots of money for the bankers, but we're starving Americans to death. We spent $16 trillion on the lockdown. We wasted, got nothing for it. $8 trillion on the Ukraine war. That's $24 trillion that they had to print to pay for nothing. That money, the way they're paying it back, they're not going to tell us they're raised taxes because you can't do that. It's a hidden tax called inflation, and it hits the poor and the middle class, and it has dismantled the middle class in this country. Bitcoin is a bulwark against precisely this kind of government and corporate expansion and intrusion. Free money is as important to freedom as free expression. As president, I will make sure that your right to hold and use Bitcoin is inviolable.
There's Robert RFK Jr. telling you can have your own Bitcoin. Hey, motherfucker, we don't ask permission. Bitcoin does not ask permission. It has never asked permission, and it's never going to ask permission. Asking permission is not the American way, not at all. So, but you saw he was quoting how much we spent on the lockdowns, how much we spent on Ukraine, how much we spent on this, and how much we spent on that, and and the average Americans are starving. So he's all of a sudden he's Joe Populist, right? He's Donald Trump 2.0, but with the cachet of the Kennedy name and all that sort of shit. But this is all a con. If you go to, if we go across the pond, we're going to hop across the pond, talk to Christine Lagarde. Got a brief video from her explaining how the European Union is going to, without intending, boost Bitcoin.
Now we have in Europe this threshold. Above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the gray market. You take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail. But, the digital euro is going to have a limited amount of control. There will be control, you're right. You're completely right. We are considering whether for very small amounts, anything that is around 300, 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control.
So you only have freedom if you're making a payment under $300. Everything else, the government has control and they'll be tracking everything you do. CBDCs are coming around the world, so you should start getting prepared. Time to opt out.
I don't know, like that was some Bitcoin dude. But this is what the Eurozone has in store for 700 million people. That's how many people live in Europe. And a digital euro is not going to be accepted as money outside of the European Union. And if they're going to decide what's legal and illegal over 1,000 euros, and 1,000 euros I'm sure is pretty easy to spend, that's going to mean a train wreck of an economy in Europe. And what that's going to do is going to fuel people looking for alternatives. They're going to look for alternatives, and they're going to look and look and look. So I've shown this girl before. This girl is she's a Spanish girl from Miami. This video is about a week old. What are we today? It's a few days old. It was a 4th of July video. But the one thing I particularly like about this, and I've said this before, is that Bitcoiners are this far away from knowing the truth. They're this far away. Now, I don't need them to know the things that I know. I don't need them to say the things that I say, right? I just need them to keep doing what they're doing. But they are so close. And the reason why they don't see it, I mentioned it before, is the phenomenon of selective attention. But as long as we win, I don't care if you're conscious of who we're beating or you're not aware of who we're beating. But we're gonna beat them anyway. Here's the Spanish girl with her 4th of July message.
It's Independence Day, but are we really free? No, seriously, when a government can just print money out of thin air that you have to work really hard for, is that really what our forefathers envisioned for us? I feel like we have an illusion of freedom, and that illusion is crafted by the same people who hoard all of the power and want to keep us under control. Think about it. Everything from the media to agriculture, medicine, our universities are co-opted by these people. The only reason they can do it is because money printer go grr. And in my opinion, these are the most un-American people this country has to offer. So that's why I think that it's up to us, the people, to take our freedom back by opting out of this stupid system. Bitcoin is about so much more than money go up technology. It's about realizing the dream that our founding fathers had for us. They decided to fight a whole revolution so that we would live in a world free of tyranny. And now there's a new revolution. Will you be ready, Anon?
So she uses that Twitter that thing from Twitter. Judas Fly Chai, base Persian mission guy. Shalom from my home. Hope you've been out doing some fun stuff in sunny Los Angeles, Mr. Fly Chai. Welcome to the show. But you see that young lady, she understands that the people in charge of media, government, academia are all un-American, and that this nation was founded on principles of freedom, not elite control. Although those principles were not properly protected. But America 2.0, and America 2.0 is coming. America 2.0, I assure you, will be ready. We will absolutely be ready. So what do we got here? Okay, so in the intro, I said we're gonna go in the Wayback Machine. So we're gonna hop in the Wayback Machine. We're gonna go back, I don't know, like a year and a half, 2 years. You may remember this. And I'm going to show you a bit of video, and then we're going to do a screen share and some other stuff. But let's take a ride. Let's take a ride back a mere year and a half, 2 years.
This is Sweden, one of the leading industrial nations in Western Europe, home to 10.5 million people and some of the world's great companies. Yet, there is now a cryptocurrency that uses even more energy every year than the entire nation of Sweden. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's wasteful use of energy rivals most mid-sized nations. These gigantic crypto mining operations are sucking up obscene amounts of energy and becoming a major source of climate change and global pollution. Scientists estimate that if Bitcoin becomes widely adopted, the emissions alone could push the planet past a catastrophic 2-degree centigrade threshold that would cause runaway climate change. It all comes from something called proof of work, a complex and outdated verification system that requires a massive number of computers using enormous amounts of energy from coal, fossil fuel gas, and other polluting sources. Bitcoin's constantly growing mining operations are plunging us towards a global environmental crisis. And the worst part about it all is it can be avoided. By a change to the software code, Bitcoin could virtually eliminate the energy-wasting mining. There are just a few dozen decision makers.
For that, there's only, you're boiling the ocean. Please change the code. We're all gonna die. We're all going to die unless you change the code, Bitcoin. Well, now that BlackRock has applied for an ETF, right, a spot ETF to trade Bitcoin in Fidelity Investments, which has been, by the way, been mining Bitcoin since I think 2016. So they probably got a big pile of their own. But BlackRock, Franklin Templeton Funds, Fidelity, they're all pro-Bitcoin now. So Greenpeace, which last year was screaming, you're going to boil the oceans and kill everyone on the planet, now is as fucking silent as a fucking is a church mouse. So that's where we were. This is where we are today. So where's the so this is the type of things you're going to see now. I just saw this. This is a great little bit. So Greenpeace, the environmentally sound governance crew, all of a sudden things are not really going their way, and stuff like this. And I grabbed this off. I think I grabbed this off Instagram. And you got to remember, Instagram is Facebook, and Facebook is the U.S. intelligence community. It was started from a computer program called LifeLog. That was a DARPA project to increase the patriotism of its employees who felt isolated and alone, sitting in their little booths doing their DARPA work on their computers. So they created a message board where they could put pictures and say, hey, it's my birthday. Look, I had a tuna fish sandwich, and everyone could give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. And that worked so well in increasing employee patriotism that they took it public and called it Facebook. Facebook, the outgrowth of which got outpaced by video, and the head of Facebook being Mark, the future president of the United States, Zuckerberg. They came up with something to try and compete with TikTok, which is probably a straight up CIA program. They called it Instagram, and Instagram is just as manipulated and controlled as anything else. And for me, someone like me who understands how to view these little propaganda pieces and what value they have to me in my mission to destroy the Federal Reserve, I just grab this stuff and I can curate some really interesting things. So, like I said, like I just showed you, a year and a half ago, please, Bitcoin, please, you're going to burn the entire planet. Just change the code. Okay, now here's the stories you're seeing all over Instagram.
Scotland's power sector is coming under fire after it was revealed that officials used massive diesel generators to ensure dozens of giant turbines on wind farms could function. According to the Sunday Mail, they were tipped off by a whistleblower who cited a number of environmental, health, and safety concerns, one of which was half a dozen diesel generators running for up to 6 hours a day to de-ice the wind turbines. Scottish Power said they were forced to hook up 71 windmills to the fossil fuel supply after a fault on their grid caused the system to fail to keep the turbines warm and working during the cold month of December. Other concerns from the whistleblower included thousands of liters of leaked oil from hydraulic units and technical faults that see turbines taking energy from the grid rather than producing energy.
Which is a fairly big English newspaper. It's not, I guess it's like the Daily News here in the US. Virgil Doctor, Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. So all of a sudden, major newspapers are lifting the curtain on, these whistleblowers are telling the truth about, about ESG. I promise you, all of this stuff there were whistleblowers telling the truth from the moment this stuff went up. I remember seeing those windmill things. There's one in Bayonne, New Jersey. I used to pass it all the time on my motorcycle when I was going up into Port Jervis, New York. And on the windiest days, it would never be working. You know what I mean? I think I've seen it work like 4 times. And I used to pass it every weekend for 3 years. So this stuff is bullshit. It's always been bullshit. But they're ramming it down your throat, and that is about to change. Here's a quick snapshot of an article that I saw. It said BlackRock's Larry Fink is not the only one who is no longer using the term ESG in their communications. So basically, the article said that in the quarterly reports of S&P 500 companies, last year there were 156 companies that talked about ESG. This year, that number is something like 74. So nobody's talking about ESG anymore because windmills and solar panels do not create enough electricity to run shit. You need what is called base load power, a steady amount of energy that can supply everything that you can increase or decrease at will. Like when there's a heat wave and everybody puts on their air conditioning, or when everyone buys their Tesla car and everybody plugs in their Tesla car when they get home from work at 6 o'clock, and all that power gets pulled through the grid, right, to charge your Tesla car. Such fucking bullshit. They're doing nothing. We're doing everything. At the end of the day, this is what Bitcoin is doing, right? This is Bitcoiners. This is one of my favorite memes, right? And this photo, obviously memeified, but it's a famous photo from New York City of the men who built the Empire State Building. By the way, none of which were American Indians. They said it was all American Indians. Not true. It was all white guys, a lot of Irish dudes, walking on them beams way up with no safety harnesses, no safety nets, no nothing. They took that picture on purpose. I mean, it's a bit of a joke. They're all sitting on the beam. They're having lunch, reading the paper. But you look at men like that and you think, would you do that for a paycheck? And for the type of paychecks they got back then, would you do that? Really? Look how high up they are. Take a look at New York City below them, and you're going to be up there every day in the fucking wind, right? And if the wind blew too hard and you didn't have good balance, you'd go, you would be doing a fucking Superman act and end up on the fucking pavement below. I wonder what that shit was like. But the only people doing a high wire act these days, the only people building something impressive, something that you will see for miles and miles away, something that will be iconic, the only people building are Bitcoiners. So the title of tonight's stream, I gotta show it. Where is it? Title of tonight's stream is the fastest horse, and of course, Bitcoin is the fastest horse. I was thinking about this when I was looking at this today. Show you this. This is a picture I took. This is a picture I took when I was in Greece last year, right? This bronze statue, right, is in the National Archaeological Museum, blah, 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 in Athens, and it's called the Jockey of Artemisia. And what it is a little, 10-year-old kid on the back of a horse that's running at full gallop, right? So this is the only piece that survived from whatever it was. Maybe they did a whole horse race, but this kid is hanging on to the horse's mane, which I think they actually used actual horsehair on, because I took the picture from the wrong angle. But you got to imagine how exciting that must have been. You got to imagine how crazy, adrenaline charged something like that was back in 400 BC. The fastest horse. Everybody wants to know what that is. Why is it Bitcoin? Why isn't it the US dollar? Well, the reason why is because absolutely because Bitcoin runs 24/7, and Wall Street only runs from 9:30 till 4 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. So where's what do I got? No, not that one. Hey, wait a minute. I almost for sure. Thought I uploaded that. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't have it. Hold on. Let me look. Let me see if I can do this without completely screwing things up. But there's a video I thought for sure I uploaded, but apparently I might not have. Ah, shit. I did not. Fucking motherfucker. Oh, yeah. Oh, I hate when that happens. All right, let's do Bitcoin versus Wall Street. 53 seconds. Starts out with Michael Saylor I don't know. It doesn't go where I want it to go, but let's take a look.
You see that metaphorically if you just look at, a crypto exchange and you look at the trading of Bitcoin and it's working while you're sleeping. And if you try to watch it, you get exhausted. All traditional assets are constructed to trade from 9:30 in the morning till 4 in the evening because human beings needed to watch over them. And Bitcoin, when you go beyond that, right, you're going from like 35 hours a week to 168 hours a week. And then when you consider that it's trading every hour in every currency pair on a host of exchanges, extremely high bandwidth, price discovery, transparency, the highest bandwidth market of any security, of any asset. I mean, Bitcoin really is the apex asset in the financial jungle because it's the creature that never sleeps, that's an octopus, that's working everywhere all the time.
They have. I don't think anybody knows. Now there's literally some stuff I gotta add. There's some stuff I just gotta add, and I just don't have it, right? It really that pisses me off. Oh, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. What did I do wrong? Okay. So the background of all of this is money printer go burr, and money is used in all sorts of creative ways to create problems where none exist or make existing problems worse. I've shown this type of video before. This is 59 seconds, but it's a dark glimpse of what the future is going to look like in more than just San Francisco. But this video was shot in San Fran.
Where are you from?
Louisiana, Texas area.
How long you been in San Francisco?
Since June. If you're gonna be homeless, it's pretty easy here. I mean, if we're gonna be realistic, they pay you to be homeless here.
When you said that San Francisco pays people to be homeless, what did you mean by that? You mean that literally?
Yeah. I mean, I get $620 a month, dude.
From general assistance,
yeah.
Or would you? How was that hard to get?
Phone call, bro. Phone call. 200 food stamps and $620 cash a month.
Wow.
Forget about it. Why wouldn't I do it? You know, it's free money, dude. This right now is literally by choice. Literally by choice. Like, why would I want to pay rent? I'm not doing I got a cell phone that I have Amazon Prime and Netflix on. The cops told us this morning, like, oh, it'd be easier if you guys packed up in the morning. We wouldn't have to come out here. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, okay. And then.
So you say, well, that's San Francisco. They're giving away $620 a month plus 200 in food stamps, and the homeless have Netflix. I don't have Netflix. It's too expensive, and I fucking work 65 hours a week. So how long can this go on? It could go on for a while longer, and there's no point in gnashing your teeth over it because it's only going to get worse. Now, some people are probably going to use that, move the homeless all into this one area so that, like, I don't know, real estate prices collapse and everyone sells for pennies on the dollar. And then BlackRock comes in and buys the houses and pushes out the homeless, and the value of the houses go up. Would they do that? Yeah, they would do that. You know they would do that. But what I absolutely am as furious as I could possibly be is I cannot find my Predator meme. I cannot find the fucking Predator. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. So what does this mean? This means that what they're doing cannot go on forever. It is in the parlance of Barack Hussein Obama, it is unsustainable. So most people spend their entire lives chasing money, worrying about money, showing off how much money they have or hiding how much money they have, and they don't even know what money is. But the great Lebanese author Saifuddin Ammous will explain to you what money really is.
You can't really understand money without understanding time preference.
Explaining money as a market phenomenon allows you to understand it so much better than the poof. The government says, let there be money, and then we have money. Time preference as a part of this phenomenon, because what money does, the importance of money, one of the many important things that money does to us is that it allows us to provide for our future selves. Money is the most efficient mechanism for providing for the future. You don't know what you're going to be needing for the future. You don't know how you're going to be spending your money in the future. And so the easiest, most effective, most efficient way of providing for yourself in the future is to save money.
Only about himself, but if you have a wife, if you have children, if there are posterity involved, how can you leave your children or your grandchildren any money without that money being taxed away or inflated away? That's the question. If your life's work will be stolen from you, your children's life work will be stolen from them, and your grandchildren's life's work will be stolen, right? You will become a slave to someone like this. And the thing is, when you complain about it, you're gonna get a lot of pushback. You're gonna get pushback from this guy. This one I remembered to upload. This is an oldie but a goodie, and one of my absolute favorites that I grabbed of Twitter back in the day. 36 seconds by the author of The Truth About Judaism.
The thing that makes Judaism dangerous to everybody, to every race, to every nation, to every idea, is that we smash things that aren't true. We don't believe in the boundaries of nation state. We don't believe in the ideas of these individual gods that protect individual groups of people. These are all artificial constructions, and Judaism really teaches us how to see that. In a sense, our detractors have us right, in that we are a corrosive force. We're breaking down the false gods of all nations and all people because they're not real. And that's very upsetting to people.
Because the Jews are trying to do tikkun olam. See, when they destroy your religion, when they collapse your civilization, when they destroy your currency, when they get your kids hooked on opioids, it's for your own good. It's to prove to you, to show you that what you believe is not true. See, they're really the good guys. Judas Laichai, I don't like Rushkov. Well, the point of Mr. Rushkov is this. He can say things that we cannot say. He's saying them in an environment where he feels really, really comfortable, right? He's somewhere in Israel at some event, and and he's surrounded by friends. Nothing he says is gonna come back on him in any negative way. So he can relax and say whatever he wants to say without consequence, right? But the fact that the nation we live in is not our nation, whether that Spanish girl knows it or not, or like I said, it doesn't matter. She doesn't know who they are. It's that, she knows that the people in charge are pretty un-American. I remember seeing this. This was from, I think this was actually from the Huffington Post. Was this HuffPo? Yes. I don't even know if that website still exists. But it said failed amendment would have put war to national vote, forced those who voted yes to enlist. And this was a story from 2013, so it's a little bit old. But it looked like we were going to go to war in Syria, blah, 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 blah. Trump ended up, of course, sending some troops to Syria. We already had some guys there. But there was an attempt the year before America entered World War I. There was an attempt to write an amendment to the Constitution that a declaration of war must be voted on by the people, not by Congress, by the people, by popular vote. And any congressman who voted for war would have to volunteer to go to the front lines. Well, needless to say, this amendment was squashed. It never, ever, ever saw the light of day. And the reason why is because the U.S. Capitol, right, is not in Washington, D.C., right? This meme is the perfect meme. Becky, point to the U.S. Capitol. She points to Washington, D.C. Sorry, Becky, please take a seat. Jennifer, you point to the U.S. Capitol, and she points to Israel. Whatever's good for Israel is or whatever's good for the Jews is what America does and has done for more than 100 years. You're not going to fight this. You're not going to win this, right? Not with any method that you've used up to this point. However, Bitcoin does not give up. Bitcoin, like I said, doesn't care. Really, really, really does not care. And there's a where is it? There was a comic book movie. Okay, there was a comic book movie a couple of years ago that I'm not big on comic book movies, but the fact that Larry Fink 5 years ago was saying Bitcoin is the index of money laundering, right? The fact that 2 years ago he was saying none of my high net worth clients are interested in Bitcoin, to now filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF that in 5 years, and I had video of this, and I can't find it. I must have deleted it off my phone before I uploaded it. The fact that in 5 years, Larry Fink, the most powerful man in any stock market anywhere, and BlackRock owns stock literally in everything everywhere, right? They own part of every company everywhere on the planet. They own Coke and Pepsi. They own Apple and Microsoft. They, there's nothing they don't have their tentacles in, okay? The fact that he went from index of money laundering to he actually said, and it's killing me that I don't have the video. I'll show it next week. Bitcoin is hope. He said Bitcoin is a hedge against, a hyperinflation of your local currency. He actually said that, like literally Bitcoin talking points, our talking points. The crazy guy who lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in New Jersey, he's making the exact same arguments that we make all the time. And he says, listen, BlackRock is about hope. I'll show you next week. I don't know how I fucked up, but I had a bunch of other things to do today. So, and I still didn't get a fucking haircut because the barber decided to take another fucking day. Other than that, and never mind. The point is, there was a comic book movie that became a meme, and this is 47 seconds, and I'm going to show you, and I'll explain to you sort of what it means on the other end.
Hey, Rorschach. Hey, you're pretty famous, right? Hey, you know what? I'm pretty famous, too. Ain't that right? That's right. That's right. Maybe I can give you an autograph, huh? What you say, big boy?
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
That is a great, I don't know, I didn't see that movie, but that's a great fucking scene. A very popular scene. And that's where Bitcoin is with Wall Street. There's so many Bitcoiners that are like, oh, what's going to happen? Will BlackRock do this and BlackRock do that? Larry Fink is crying. What's he say? He says that the transaction fees for Bitcoin are too high. He wants to see lower transaction fees. We don't give a fuck what you want to see, Larry. Holy shit, the comments are going crazy. The chat must be going wild. Judas Fly Chai, did you have, oh, you like that? Yes, it was an excellent, excellent scene. Hollywood, which will make, a movie that's 2 hours and 20 minutes of absolute putrid garbage, will, within that 2 hours and 20 minutes, do a scene like that, a scene that's absolutely brilliant, that can be used a number of different ways. Have another one like that. Have a second one like that is even more Bitcoiny, even more Bitcoiny. But Larry Fink is now complaining that the transaction fees when you buy and sell Bitcoin are too high, and he wants to see lower transaction fees. And he thinks he can get this to happen because he's BlackRock and everybody wants to be part of BlackRock. But like I told you last week, and I've been telling you for a while, they can't kill Bitcoin. They can't stop Bitcoin. So now this is the second part of their strategy, right? They're going to try and co-opt Bitcoin. They're going to try and be the middleman between you, the sucker holding green pieces of paper issued by Jews, and real money, okay? Money that they cannot steal from you, they cannot take away from you, right? BlackRock's going to be the intermediary. That's their plan. By the way, if you're still here now, I'm seeing the number of the people watching the live stream go up. Make sure to smash up that like button. I'm going to put the banner up there to show you, to remind you that you need to smash up the like button. Last week's show, 44 views, only 6 likes. That means 38 parasites. 38 people that I would love to see die starving and homeless because you're just a bunch of worthless, homosexual communists waiting for the ghost of Adolf Hitler to deliver you from the Jews and the Negroes. But the ghost of Adolf Hitler is not coming back, and he isn't going to fucking save you anyway. Particularly, he would not save you. But okay, so here's a good meme. This is a better meme. Let me take this. Let me take that banner off. A better meme because the dialogue in this next meme is almost perfect for Bitcoin locked in a room with BlackRock. So 47 seconds, you'll recognize it. If you guys seen anything in pop culture, you will recognize this real fast.
Believers.
No, you stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
I've paid you a small fortune.
This gives you power over me?
What is this?
Your money and infrastructure have been important. Till now.
What are you?
I've Gotham's reckoning. Here to end the borrowed time you've all been living on.
You're evil.
I'm necessary evil.
No.
Perfect seed. Instead of saying I'm Gotham's reckoning, he should be saying I am fiat's reckoning. Okay, that's Bitcoin. And the money that Wall Street's going to bring, and all of the attention, and all of the fucking programmers and developers, and blah 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 blah, all of that is going to serve Bitcoin. And whatever the fuck Larry Fink thinks or says isn't going to matter. And when the time is right, we're going to rip their fucking faces off. We're going to rip their faces off and fucking throw their fucking limp bodies in the corner of the room. That is 100% metaphorically what we are going to do. But in the meantime, you live in a world that's so fucking insane that you need a special focus. You need a tunnel vision to get through this. I just saw this. I normally don't show this stuff. I got a minute, 16-second clip from the White House. We'll take you into the White House press room or whatever, briefing room. No, the press room, the White House press room. I gotta watch this video. It's a minute 16, and I got some thoughts on it. On the other side.
Okay, Zeke, you want to kick us off?
The House Ways and Means Committee yesterday released documents, their authenticity nowhere challenged. That included a July 2017 WhatsApp message sent by Hunter Biden to Henry Zhao, a Chinese Communist Party official, which stated in its entirety, and I quote, "I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, If I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father, unquote. So just a couple of questions about this. First, does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign?
So that reporter has a transcript from WhatsApp, which is a popular downloadable app. You might have it on your own phone, where Hunter Biden, a known crackhead, was threatening one of the top 3 Communist Party officials in China, which is a nation with 300 nuclear weapons. It's probably reasonably widely known, at least in this audience, not the 38 parasites, but the 6 people I actually do the show for, that Wall Street, through Jacob Schiff, financed the Bolshevik Revolution. Jacob Schiff gave $20 million to Lev Bronstein or Leon Trotsky, and he went back, took that money back to Russia, bought a whole bunch of weapons, and thus the Red Army began its conquest of Russia. The Bolshevik Revolution and modern Russia is entirely 100% a product of Wall Street, and that is equally true of China. They will try to tell you that China is big and scary and China's going to do this. We have to have this posture against China. We have to have that posture. We have to make sure the Chinese don't do this and the Chinese don't do that. And you have a crackhead, a known crackhead, threatening the highest levels of government in China, right? And I guarantee you, the Chinese were shaking in their fucking boots, because without America to sell its fucking cheap junk to, who the fuck is China going to sell anything to, right? They're entirely dependent on us. So no matter what they tell you about China, when they try to scare you with some fucking chopstick fucking fairy tale, just fucking ignore it. Oh, there was an incident in the ocean. There was this. It's all fucking bullshit. It's all 100% bullshit, right? Crackheads threaten foreign heads of state. That's the America you live in. How much longer can we stagger along like this? I don't know how much longer, till the money becomes worthless. So, the next president, whoever that's going to be, that circumstance is going to be probably even crazier than this. But that little snippet of video gives you a window into what really happens, gives you a window into what really goes on behind the scenes, right? In a way that you never had before, except nobody gives a fuck. Nobody fucking cares. I tell this audience, I tell the 38 parasites who don't click up the like, who don't smash up the like button, I tell those 38 parasites that your ideas are fucking shit and no one is ever going to listen to you. The reason why your ideas are shit is because your ideas are shit. No one cares. Everyone's out for what they can get for themselves right here, right now. They have the highest time preference of maybe ever, right? Because there's nothing left to believe in, right? There's absolutely nothing left to believe in. So it's about get as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and get the fuck out before it all collapses. And will there be a collapse? Yeah, there'll be I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't think it's going to be a big, dramatic, violent thing. I don't think that we're really going to be able to, change a whole lot. Like, I don't think that we're, here. This image, this beautiful artistic image, this would be like the 21st century version of the Reichstag fire, where the nationalist Germans burned down the Communist Party headquarters. Will we actually have that here in America? I don't think, sadly, I think no. I mean, I wish we lived in a legal environment where we could do that, but we're not there, and I don't think we're going to get there. We are probably not going to get there, but a boy can dream. You know what I mean? A boy, a very old boy, sitting in his one-bedroom apartment in New Jersey can dream. You know what I mean? And that's the type of stuff I dream of, especially when I'm doing this. right? And this is not exactly what I do, but this is almost what I do. I have to work really hard at a crummy job that nobody wants. And I'm like a poor little frog, tears coming down my eyes as I drive up and down the fucking, the corridor of power between New York and Washington, D.C., serving those who want what I have to provide in order to pay my fucking rent. Okay, I don't actually flip burgers, but what I do is not much more than flip burgers, right? I just carry boxes from point A to point B. Admittedly, I do it, on time and in a professional fashion, but it's really just carrying boxes from point A to point B, right? I mean, I'm thinking your job is probably much more impressive. Probably isn't. But what am I going to do? The country that my grandfather fucking desperately emigrated to, and fought a war to fucking become a citizen in, is now run by a crackhead. You know what I mean? The crackheads are calling foreign heads of state a threat. Yeah, I think, I don't think anyone from that era, could possibly imagine how insane things are today. But you have to hang on, and you have to have clarity. You have to have focus, or you'll be fucked. What do we got? Let's go with. I'm going to do another Michael Saylor video that I forgot. I actually have something to drink, but I left my fucking ice in the fucking other room, and I'm going to have to go get it soon. Let's see what Mikey Saylor has to say in this clip. I can't remember what it's about.
What's happening here, right? The free market is shaking out all the crypto pretenders. All the next Bitcoins are getting shaken out. And FTT is obviously not the next Bitcoin. Solana and Cardano are obviously not the next Bitcoin. They're unregistered securities according to the SEC, which means they're not commodities at all. And if you're not a commodity, you can't be a global money or a global property because you're going to be regulated. There's an attack surface. Like if you were a registered security, you're not going to be a global property. Like Apple and Microsoft and Facebook and Alibaba are not going to be global properties because they're registered, regulated securities. But certainly an unregistered security is definitely not going to be a global property. It's not even as good as Apple. And Apple is 100 times weaker as a property idea than Bitcoin is because it's security, not a commodity.
Now we have in Europe this threshold. Above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the gray market. You take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail.
Stupid Christine Lagarde jumping back on my stream. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that, lady. You run the European Union. You do not run the STFU James live streams. That the next global currency is not going to be a green piece of paper issued by Jews that is nearly worthless. Okay, the next global currency, it can't be gold. And one of the things, there was a different clip of Saylor talking about, of all these trillions that Saylor talks about, or that RFK Jr. was talking about, all these trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, price of gold hasn't moved. Because the gold is near worthless. You know what I mean? It has almost no value other than gold is used in circuit boards, right? Circuit boards and computers are used to mine, store, and transmit Bitcoin. That's the use case for gold, and that is not a $3,000 or $5,000 per ounce gold price. And of course, the lack of divisibility. You're going to take your gold coin, your $5,000 gold coin, to the supermarket to buy hamburger. You know what I mean? Okay, so give me 5 pounds of hamburger. All right, that's $500. Let's say it's $500, right? It's because the dollars turned to shit, and gold is now worth $5,000. You hand them your $5,000 gold coin. What are they going to hand you back? Do you think they're going to hand you back a gold coin that's worth $4,500? No, they're going to hand you back $4,500 in green pieces of paper issued by Jews. There's no exit strategy. Whereas with Bitcoin, someone can say $500 or whatever the equivalent's going to be in Satoshis at the time, 350 Satoshis, you whip out your phone, you click a button, it goes beep, and exactly 350 Satoshis go into the fucking supermarket's account, and you walk out with your hamburger. And you still have whatever amount of Bitcoin you had before you walked. June in the chat. June, ride the tiger and company script. Yes, it's all going to be the problem with company script, June, because you people really, I know you think you're smart, but you're really not smart. Who's going to take it outside the company, right? Or is the United States, every business in the United States going to be all part of the same corporation, right? That's just not going to happen. It isn't going to happen ever, 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 ever. Just like the digital currencies, the ECB, the digital Naira in Nigeria, the digital whatever, the digital yuan in China. Who's going to take that outside of China? How will you trade? How will you trade your raw materials for finished goods, right? And how will you trade finished goods like flat screen TVs and air conditioners and automobiles? How are you going to trade that for your fucking for your digital currency in a country that has a different digital currency? How's that going to work? It isn't going to work. All this shit is doomed to fail. But you can't tell these leaders this because they don't want to hear it, and plus they're following orders from higher up. Okay. And now I know I said a lot of negative things, but generally I'm positive about the future. One, because I have Bitcoin, and two, because I know all the rest of this shit is all fucking noise. None of it is fucking signal. The future is going to contain both bright spots and dark spots. I'm going to show you a 2-minute video, which is going to actually allow me to run out of the room. But it's a 2-minute video of something that already exists. This is not theoretical. This is not someday. This is something that already exists, and it's going to change a lot of things in America. Positive that is. Think of how exciting that is, that there are machines like that out today using CO2 lasers to zap weeds. You don't have to pull weeds by hand. Now, I realize nobody in this audience does any kind of manual labor, but the joyous news of the future is no one's going to have to do that. Now, admittedly, that creates a problem with what are we going to do with all these Mexicans, right? That they imported to pick crops. That machine, which currently exists, you can Google Carbon Robotics and go to the company website. I think it's designed in Seattle and built in Detroit. So this is an entirely American project. The future is going to be robots doing the hard work and growing all the food using stuff like lasers to zap the weeds, and maybe they'll have different lasers to zap the pests. So chemical-free, very close to organic, or as close to organic as one can reasonably get, food supply in America. That's coming, right? The reason why you see these Boston Dynamics, and I cannot shit hard enough on Boston Dynamics. You see these Boston Dynamics videos get pushed through social media all the time, and they can't do. I admit, the last time I went by there, they actually had the sign above their headquarters lit up. All the letters were lit up, so they finally got that fixed. But for years, they had 1 or 2 letters out on the whole fucking thing. All that shit's fake. I don't know what they're doing with their money. I don't know how they get their money, but they're ripping everybody off. They have produced nothing. Okay, that company, Carbon Robotics, has produced something that is useful everywhere on the planet and that everyone wants. It works day or night without any human intervention. Just bring it to the farm, fire it up, and let it go. That's a very exciting and bright spot to the future. The downside to that, society-wise, is what are you going to do? What are you going to do when there's no more manual labor jobs? When these ugly jobs like pulling weeds, right, are taken, by a robot? What are you going to do with all those people? What's going to happen to those jobs? Who was it? A lot of people might notice. I got an email from Claire Caw. She says she wrote a book, and if you go on Amazon and you type in Claire Caw in the search box, you can see she wrote a book on secular Quranism or whatever. I don't know if she really wrote it or if ChatGPT wrote it, but David wrote a book. Claire Caw wrote a book. Everybody's writing a book. I'm thinking it's AI, some AI program, that's actually writing a book. But that aside, the future is very, very bright if you have the right mindset. You understand what's really going to happen in the future. Don't be overly fearful, and don't be delusionally happy either. Understand that the robot thing, Luciano Villalobos. I have not seen you before in the chat, Mr. Lobos, or Senor Lobos, I would say, right? Would it be Senor? June in the chat. I was being facetious, not proposing a solution. Okay, all right. Fair play, June. I cannot always tell these subtle nuances. I'm not big on subtle nuance. I'm like very pugnacious and very super direct, and I don't want to be misinterpreted. I don't want someone to say, well, what did he really mean by it? Because I try to, as much as I can, be as clear as I can, because one, it's more efficient. And two, at the end of the day, I could say, well, I really said what I wanted to say, right? I'm not going to be in a position where people go, nobody knows the real me, because this is pretty much the real me, right? A lot of you are walking around thinking nobody knows the real me. I know the real you. You're a communist homosexual, right? Who prays to the fucking ghost of Adolf Hitler to protect him from Negroes and Jews. That isn't going to happen, but that's who you really are. And the reason why you can't come out and tell people that is because that's a pretty fucking vile and disgusting thing. And that's for the 38 people from last week's show who did not smash up the like button. By the way, if you're here, if you just got here, if you skipped ahead to this part of the show because it's later on in the week, make sure to smash up the like button. To be honest, I'll stop saying mean things about the fucking audience if I saw 44 views and 44 likes. I would think, okay, these people bothered to click the like button, because it doesn't fucking cost you it, right? But it's a parasite mindset. It's the mindset of give me something for nothing, right? That is repugnant to every decent person everywhere. Nobody likes a parasite, so smash up the like button. It doesn't cost you a nickel. It doesn't take a long time. You're not going to break a sweat. Okay, click the fucking like button and consciously, deliberately stop being the fucking lowlife that you've been up to this point. Okay, that is a subtle. That's my subtly nuanced fucking message. You try and figure out what I really meant by that. Man, I wish I had that other fucking thing. I think I've completely run out of videos. I believe I've completely run out of videos. Brian, blast it. But they couldn't kill Bitcoin. So now they're going to try and co-opt Bitcoin, right? That's going to fail. Last week, and I've talked about this other times, combat sports, you watch boxing, you watch MMA, it doesn't make a difference. When one guy's losing and then he changes what he does and he's still losing, that means he's going to lose. There might be 3 more rounds. There might be 5 more rounds. There might be 10 more rounds in this fight. But if some guy comes out with a plan and the plan don't work, and then he changes the plan and it still doesn't work, that motherfucker's going to lose, right? The champions just do what they're going to do. They don't really concern themselves with what their opponent's going to do because they know what their response is going to be. They correctly anticipate what their opponent's going to do and they counter it. That's how to win in combat sports. That's how to win in anything. In war, Hitler did not like Meds and Slavs. Oh, look, Luciano. Luciano Villalobos earned himself a swing with the banhammer very, very quickly. June, your description says Chillstream. This is me chilling. I don't really actually have chill, you know. I'm being facetious. Yeah, Villalobos doing the pro-Hitler thing. Fuck you. You know what I mean? The reason why Hitler didn't like fucking Meds is because when he went to fucking Greece fucking kicked his ass. Right? It cost him so many fucking men that he lost the entire fucking war. It's not uncommon for people to think that the reason why Hitler didn't make it to the fucking to Moscow by December 41 was because he had to spend so much time and effort pulling Mussolini's fucking cookies out of the fire in Greece, which resisted. The government did not fall for like 249 days. 249 days, or maybe 219 days. Right? Every other European government fell within 30 days. Right? There was only one government, one group of people that just kept fighting. So, you know, Hitler bad, Jews also bad. Both of this at the same time. Bigger concept than most of my audience can hold. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's it. You know, it's like that girl. What's it? That chick? The one from Hunger Games. There's a meme of her crying while she's eating hot wings. She goes, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And tears are running down her face. What I mean is Hitler bad, Jews bad at the same time. Both of these things are true at the same time. Okay. Again, a bigger thought than most of you can keep in your heads. But back to what I was saying. When a guy is losing a fight, changes what he does, and he changes what he does, and he's still losing the fight. And that's what's happening with Wall Street, right? Wall Street, like Michael Saylor said, is open at 9:30 and closes at 4 o'clock. And Bitcoin runs 24/7, 365 around the globe. Larry Fink doesn't like the transaction fees. It's bullshit. This is Larry Fink's attempt to intimidate the people mining Bitcoin and selling Bitcoin. Oh, you want to do business with BlackRock? You got to lower your fees. Guess what? This shit ain't gonna work. Back in the day when Marathon Oil first started mining Bitcoin, there was a Bitcoin upgrade that was coming, and in order for this software upgrade to go through, the miners have to agree to it 100%. Everyone has to agree 100% that this is going to be the software upgrade, right? It's called consensus governance. And Marathon Oil thought, well, listen, we're an oil company. We don't have to listen to you. We're not going to do this software upgrade. And the entire rest of the Bitcoin network said, that's fine. We don't give a shit. We're not going to recognize any of the Bitcoin you mine. You know? And Marathon was like, you're bluffing. And guess what? We're not bluffing. Okay. Bitcoin is incorruptible software. It doesn't give a shit about what you feel. You can't scare it. You can't shoot it to death. There's nothing you can do. You cannot invade and take it over. Okay? That's not possible. It's going to win in ways you cannot fucking imagine. And Larry Fink has gone from index of money laundering to Bitcoin is a store of value against currency debasement in 5 fucking years. Less than 5 years. And I assure you, he's gonna bend much for June. Who writes the upgrades? Anybody theoretically could write the upgrades. I'll do the quick primer again because I'm not super technical on it, but Bitcoin is 3 things, right? There's 3 things. It is software code that you put on a computer and execute. It's an executable program, right? Just lines of software. Okay, that's one part of what Bitcoin is. The second part of what Bitcoin is once it sets itself up on the computer, it searches for an internet connection, and when it finds it, it goes out onto the internet and looks for other computers that are also running Bitcoin software. And that's completely random, okay? And it creates a network with those other computers, whichever ones it finds, however many it finds. So Bitcoin is the software. Bitcoin is the network that the software creates, and Bitcoin is the value that is transmitted on that network. That's the best non-technical explanation I can give you. If you want a technical explanation, you have to go somewhere else. So the upgrades, the changes to the code, how can you change the code? Anyone, in theory, can change the code. You propose a change, you write the software, and then they usually put up a bounty before any change gets made, even assuming it's 100% legit, and it will solve some problem, and you have to solve some problem. You have to be a problem solver. You write your upgrade. It's called a BIP, Bitcoin Internet Protocol, and you put it out there with a bounty. I will pay anyone half a Bitcoin if they can prove that my software has bugs in it. You have to write bug-free, error-free upgrades. So you put that monetary reward up there, and every other software developer and anybody can download your upgrade and test it, right? Not test it live on the Bitcoin network, but test it on, sandbox computers not connected to the internet. They can test it and attack it from 100 different ways. Any flaws they find in it, they will report. If they find a flaw, they get the reward. So that's generally the process. So anyone, if you know how to write in whatever the fucking language, whatever software language Bitcoin is written in, you could write, whatever upgrade you wanted to write. Amazingly, most people write something like, all the Bitcoin is mine and none is yours, and nobody seems to want to go. Nobody seems to want to vote yes to that. But if you write an upgrade and you put up a reward and people attack your upgrade and they can't find the flaw in it, then there's going to be a consensus vote. Should we adopt this or should we not adopt this? And that's what they're going to do. There'll be a vote. If you get 100% approval, then the upgrade goes through. If you don't get 100% approval, you've wasted however many years of your life coming up with something, and you get to, you just get to back to the keyboard and try again. But that's how it works. This is me in my non-technical, fast and loose explanation of who writes the upgrades and how those upgrades either get implemented or do not get implemented. Some things, one thing that's not obvious, back in the 2017 cycle, there was an upgrade called Taproot, 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 and this was, Taproot's going to allow, I don't know what the fuck it's going to allow, other blockchains to attach to Bitcoin, and that this will bring Wall Street and this will bring blah, 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 blah. This was in 2017. Wall Street just got here in 2023. So they were way too early with this. But you can attach things to the Bitcoin blockchain that are not Bitcoin. So what? Well, that's all those monkey pictures. The people, what do they call them? The Bored Ape You know, if you want to create digital art, you can put it on the Bitcoin, you can attach it to the Bitcoin blockchain, not as Bitcoin, but as digital art. And then someone can buy that from you, okay? They can buy that and they can get their copy of the digital monkey downloaded directly to the phone. And their copy will be forever theirs because it's on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's unchanged. Not that many people went for that. That was a scammy, you know, get rich quick scheme. But that process of adding something to the Bitcoin blockchain is called ordinals. So if you had a book or a video, let's say you had a Chillstream, and I wanted this Chillstream to be remembered for the next 500 years, right? I wanted to be part of Bitcoin and indestructible, right? I wanted people 100 years from now to hear what I have to say about Jews that issue little green pieces of paper. And I think in the future, people should know this. I could, in theory, take one of these shows, go to a company like Marathon Digital and say, I have this chunk of video that I want to attach to the Bitcoin blockchain. How much will it cost? And you can attach things. You can, basically attach things to the Bitcoin blockchain and they will live forever. Now, are those things valuable? Are they not valuable? Can you sell them? Can you make fiat off them? That I don't know. But things that are not Bitcoin can piggyback on Bitcoin. And so if you wanted to take a digital copy of the protocols of the elders of Zion and you wanted to put that on the Bitcoin blockchain, in theory you could. You know, if you think, oh, there's going to be a book burning or a digital Shoah which will rewrite history, and that's happened before, you could by paying a miner, by paying someone with that makes blocks and adds things to blocks, you could pay a miner to add something to the Bitcoin blockchain that would go on uninterrupted, unedited, uncensored for hundreds of years. Bitcoin is the ability to send value not just across the room or across the globe. It's the ability to send value across time, right? In the early days of Bitcoin, when they would give you 5 Bitcoins for free, and yes, they used to give you 5 Bitcoins for free, you send them an email, they would email you 5 Bitcoins. If you just hung on to that email, you would have like over $150,000, right? Just from holding one email for 13 years. I try to tell people, think about the next 13 years. Think about what you have, how much Bitcoin you can get today, and think about the next 13 years, right? How much more valuable that's going to be. Went from $0, here's 5 of them for free, to $30,000 a piece. So those Bitcoin that you got for free back in 2009 or 2010 are worth real money today. And if you hang on to them, you can give them to your kids, you can give them to your grandkids, right? So how much, if you have young children, say you have like 4 or 5-year-old children, and you put those 5 free Bitcoins you got back in the day in a custodial account for them, so when they turn 21, they get it. How much do you think it's going to be worth now 20 years from now, right? Or 15 years from now? That's what Bitcoin offers to people. And while you may not see, you say, well, I'm a nobody. I don't want to think past my own mortality. I don't want to think about the future. I just want to live a good life now. Well, if you want to do that, if you just want to live a good life now, you got to promote global homo. You know what I mean? Go lick the boots of the fucking Jews, promote homosexuality, promote drug use, promote pedophilia, promote race mixing, promote whatever, BLM, whatever they come up with. You're going to have to be a promoter for them. You're going to have to be like a carnival barker telling everybody how great it is to be high on drugs and a transgender, whatever, right? That's, if you really want to live a good life today, that's the way to do it, okay? But if you think, no, all this degenerate shit is going to pass and the future is going to be brighter, and I would like my children or my grandchildren to know something about me that that's true, that you know, in case someone says everyone who went to Charlottesville was an evil racist or whatever, you know, and you were at Charlottesville, or you did something that today is considered controversial. if you'd like to say, hey, listen, it really wasn't like that, you can just write a letter to anyone and just put it on the blockchain, and it will stay there forever. And no one can stop anyone from reading it, and no one can censor it, and no one can fucking delete it. That power hasn't been fully realized yet. It has not been fully realized yet, but it's coming, right? It's coming. The thing about what's coming to Bitcoin in the next couple of years, when these ETFs finally get approved, then they will get approved. Maybe it's going to be 45 days from now. Maybe it's going to be 240 days from now, but it's going to get approved. Giant pension funds and insurance companies, they can't buy gold. They can't buy wheat. They can't buy pork bellies. They can't buy oil. They're not allowed. By law, they're not allowed to buy commodities. They have to buy securities. So even if they wanted to buy Bitcoin directly, they couldn't do it because Bitcoin is, as far as the US government is concerned, a commodity like gold. It belongs to whoever mined it. If you pull the oil out of the fucking earth, it's your oil. You are ExxonMobil, it's your oil to sell. If you are Royal Dutch Shell, it's your oil to sell because oil doesn't belong to anybody, right? If you grow the wheat, you got a farm and you got a little fucking robot laser tractor that kills the weeds, and you grow the wheat, you get to sell the wheat because wheat has no issuer. There's no company, there's no individual that issues wheat. It just grows up out of the ground. It's a commodity, right? Same thing with cows, pork bellies, orange juice, whatever, gold, oil, all that stuff is commodities. And these big, gigantic companies, these insurance companies, these pension funds, they can't invest in commodities because commodity prices are crazy high, crazy low, right? And by law, they have to make safe investments. Well, you know, an ETF is a security, right? The insurance companies are allowed to buy Apple stock. They're allowed to buy Microsoft. They're allowed to buy GM or Ford or Tesla. They're allowed to buy securities, but not commodities. So once there's an on-ramp, right, to Bitcoin via a security, what's legally a security, all of these mega institutions can begin to pour some money into it because things, the economy is not doing as well as they say it is, right? 493 out of the S&P 500 companies have not made a profit, are worth the same exact as they were 2 years ago. I mean, there's only 7 companies that are holding up the S&P 500, which is like Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, NVIDIA, what are a couple other ones? There's like a few other ones. It's like Netflix, Google and Facebook. Like those 7 companies are basically the entire S&P 500. And you go, well, who gives a shit about the S&P 500? But the S&P 500 is the best snapshot you have of the entire economy. And if 493 out of 500 companies is not making a profit, that's going to be a fucking problem. Okay. And now Wall Street's going to have to compete with Bitcoin. That's the part that you don't get. That's why the Bane meme, the Batman meme, one that I just showed, right? Where Bane grabs the little guy and then, the guy says, oh, I've made you a small fortune. You know what? Wall Street will make Bitcoin go up 10 times from here. It'll go from 30,000 to 300,000. You know what I mean? And people think, wow, Wall Street owns Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is Bane, right? And Larry Fink and Wall Street is the other guy. That's the fucking reality because they're going to go to sleep. They're going to get tired. They're going to want to go on vacation. Bitcoin just keep chugging along, right? And not going to wait for that and not going to take orders. So that's why we're going to fucking win because we have fucking inhuman fucking power that can't be fucking stopped. Literally cannot be stopped. And anybody who does not want their money stolen, doesn't want their life stolen from them, can opt into Bitcoin at any time. And people haven't figured that out yet, but they will. And then the competition will really begin. The US dollar, the fiat currency system, will actually have to compete with Bitcoin because it's not boiling the oceans anymore, right? BlackRock's not an ocean boiler. Fidelity Investments is not an ocean boiler. It's not a planet burner, right? It's a legit thing. So now you're going to have to compete with that. Think about it. Wall Street isn't about competition. It's all fucking rigged. It's all fucking rigged. The original Bitcoin matrix meme. I'm going to play it again. 2 minutes, 42 seconds. And almost, this is, about as perfect a message as you can get.
Fiat is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, all thinking that they earn for themselves, believing the money they use is a tool of trade, not of control. You have to understand that most of these people are not ready to see it. Many of them are so invested, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they would fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you thinking about cheap money? I was... Look again. Freeze it. This isn't a free market? No. It is a system designed to do one thing. Take power from us and give it to them. Who are they? Cantillionaires. They can manipulate and steal any value stored within their system, directing us into a dystopia where they say we'll own nothing, but be happy. Within Fiat, they are the masters, and we are the slaves. We've survived by begging for bigger handouts from the money printer, but they are the gatekeepers. We store our hopes and dreams in the tokens of their false promises, and the only way out is to fix the money. Bitcoin. I won't lie to you, Neo. Every other attempt at independent money and every electronic cash has died. But where they have failed, Bitcoin will succeed. Why? I've seen journalists who expose them ruined, watch them defraud us for trillions and no one went to jail. But their wealth and their power are still based on a world where they must sell their souls, and because of that, they will never be as sovereign or as free as you can be. What are you trying to tell me? I can sell my Bitcoin for millions one day? No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
How perfect is that? Bitcoin people, Bitcoiners have thought this through again and again and again. It went round and round and round this every way. It's not something anyone likes to do because once you fall in love with an idea, you don't want to see it get hurt. You want to protect it. You don't want to hear it criticized. Oftentimes, I'm losing my voice. Oftentimes, criticism is unfair. But if what you believe in, if what you value is going to survive, it has to be able to survive attacks, okay? And that meme, great meme, the Matrix movie, super popular series of movies, and very much part of people's mindsets. You see all over social media, red pill this, red pill that, blah, 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 right? The Matrix dialogue has entered pop culture, okay? It's all over social media. Bitcoiners hijacked this shit and took it over like nobody else has ever taken it over. There's no other Matrix memes out there even close. And that scene is absolutely perfect. The system that you live in, the governmental system, is supported by the green pieces of paper. The green pieces of paper are issued by cantillionaires. You want to call them cantillionaires, you want to call them Cohens and Levins, I don't care. But their goal is they take it all and you have nothing. Why would you tolerate that? Why would you want to live that way? I don't know. I don't want to live that way. and I do everything I can every fucking day to make sure that they get ended as fast as possible. That's what this show is about. If you think about what can I do to end the cantillionaires faster, the answer is right in that little video clip. Exit fiat. Stop thinking about fiat. Stop thinking about, oh, I want to be rich and show off. I want a big house. I want a big car. I want a swimming pool. That's all fiat minded. That's all fiat minded, right? I want to show how much money I have. These stupid rap stars, they take pictures of themselves with a fucking table full of $100 bills. There's nothing more fiat than that. Look at all these pieces of paper I have. Nobody wants the money. Nobody actually wants the money. You just want the things that the money can buy for you. Good healthcare, good schools, a nice fucking house, time to travel, time to pursue your hobbies, whatever. That's what you want. You don't actually want the green pieces of paper. They have spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to convince you that you really want those green pieces of paper and you should give up everything to get those green pieces of paper. Grab that bag, grab that bag, right? Not gonna fucking happen. Where's one of my favorite ones? This is, I don't know if I went through this. I don't think I did. I might have mentioned it. I don't think I, this was a great meme, right? About entrepreneurship. It said entrepreneurship is one of those carnival games where you throw darts or something, right? Middle class kids can afford one throw. Most miss. A few hit the target and get a small prize. A very few hit the center bullseye and get a bigger prize. Rags to riches, the American dream come true. Rich kids can afford many throws. If they want to, they can try over and over and over again until they hit something and feel good about themselves. Some keep going until they hit the center bullseye. Then they get to give their speeches or write their blog posts about meritocracy and the salutary effects of hard work. Poor kids are not visiting the carnival. They're the ones working it. Right? That is in terms of savage fucking takedown, in terms of brutal fucking takedown, that one's pretty brutal, right? That one's pretty fucking brutal. So when you look at anything, whatever, fast food, oh, evil corporate, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, you got to remember that that this kid, right, was just born into the wrong family. Right? He was, yes, the investors in McDonald's, the bondholders, the stockholders, the CEO, all those who sit on the fucking board, right? They're flying to Davos. They're going skiing in Vail for a month, right? And they do that because this kid, he ain't got no fucking choice. And if that kid is you, you need to start making better choices in life, which is not to fucking, you may have to sell your labor for green pieces of paper, but you don't have to save your labor in green pieces of paper. And if you have kids or grandkids, you should start thinking about, do I really want my kid to be flipping burgers like that? While some, while the children of cantillionaires are fucking eating fondue in Switzerland, right? So what could you do to change that? Rather than be stupid and violent and just fucking get depressed, think of a way to change that. Well, there is a way to change that because their power rests on this fucking thing called fiat currency. And the faster we destroy this, the faster the good times really start. And you can take your fucking whatever you can take a stroll past the fucking wheat field or the baby spinach field and watch the fucking robot laser zap all the fucking bugs, and there won't be any mosquitoes. And that's the life your children or your grandchildren could live. But we got to get through this part first. And the harder you work to turn your shitty fiat dollars into Bitcoin, the faster you do that, the faster that day comes. Anyway, I'm losing my fucking voice. I'm fucking choking to death. losing my voice. 1 hour, 34 minutes into the chill stream, which some people don't think is quite chilly enough, but it is. I assure you, this is me being chill. This is me being chill, June. Anyway, to everybody who showed up, to everyone who's going to show up in the coming week, smash up the like button, or I will call you a parasite again. So make sure, if you want to avoid the parasite designation, smash up that like button. Anyway, to everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's coming, like I said, next week or in the coming week, thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you guys again next week.